Ho ho! What does it mean to you to be the Real Madrid head coach of the first team, and how excited are you?
Well, obviously for me, it's a special day. I won't lie to you. Just like every day I've been part of Real Madrid has been. I'm 42 years old. I'll turn 43 on Saturday, 20 years in this club, and every single day I've spent at the best club in the world, the greatest club in history, has been special for me. And today, of course, is one of those days as well. I'm fully aware of the responsibility I have, of the beautiful challenge and task I have ahead of me, and, as you say, with a lot of excitement.
I wanted to ask you when you were told that you would officially take over the team, and whether that had already been hinted to you before, and also if you have spoken with Xabi Alonso.
That's two questions, right? No worries, no worries. Well, look, don't worry. Yesterday afternoon, they informed me that both Xabi and the club had mutually agreed to part ways, and that they wanted me to take on the responsibility and the position of first team head coach. That was just minutes before the official statement was released. And obviously, yes, of course, I spoke with Xabi yesterday. Everyone here knows the relationship I have with him, the friendship that binds us, how much I appreciate him, how much I care about him. And I know that is mutual. It has been mutual, and it will continue to be mutual.
In the club statement, it doesn't specify until when. You've been working at the club for a long time in the youth categories. Are you a long-term project for the future? Are you an interim coach? What has the club told you about this, or what are you not allowed to say?
Well, what I can tell you is that, as I said before, I've been here in this club for 20 years, and I will be at Real Madrid for as long as Real Madrid wants me to be here. This is my home. That's how I feel, and that's how it will always be.
You said you've spoken with Xabi Alonso. I don't know if in that conversation you talked about or asked him about the team's problems, and you, watching the team from the outside, what do you think those problems are?
Well, obviously, what I spoke about yesterday with Xabi, I think that stays between the two of us. And, well, I'm really looking forward to starting tomorrow, to my first match already, in a competition where tomorrow we're already playing for everything. I have the good fortune of having an extraordinary squad in my hands, and the only thing I have is a lot of excitement and a lot of eagerness for tomorrow to arrive.
I wanted to ask you about some words you said several years ago, where you said that the foundation of Real Madrid is the players' commitment, and it has come out that some of the problems were a lack of commitment from the players to Xabi's playing model. I wanted to ask you how you're going to get the players involved so that Real Madrid can be a successful team.
Well, I think we've all seen the recent matches and the season, and how they worked the other day in the Super Cup final. I think we don't just have a great squad, but a group of guys who are, well, willing to give everything, fully aware of the demands of Real Madrid. Let's also not forget that there are players here who have won 6 European Cups. Many of them have already been champions with Real Madrid, and it seems like that gets forgotten quickly. And winning with this badge can only be done through the values you mentioned, right? Through effort, through sacrifice, through consistency. That's what has made Real Madrid the greatest club in history, with the biggest trophy cabinet in world football. And that's what these players have.
Going a bit deeper into how you're going to manage the egos in the dressing room, how does Arbeloa manage the stars? With a soft hand, a firm hand, or is it depending on the moment?
Well, it's not something that worries me too much, because, as I've told you, I think we have a squad not only of great professionals and hugely talented footballers, but also players who are very good guys, eager to do things right. I always say that there's nobody more interested in Real Madrid winning titles than the Real Madrid players themselves. I know what it's like to be a Real Madrid player. I know what it's like to win. I know what that involves. I know the happiness we also bring to the millions of fans we have around the world. The responsibility. I told them this morning, the best period of my life was being a Real Madrid player. I think they need to enjoy it and feel it that way. They're also people who are very demanding of themselves, and, well, that's what I take from it. I'm already really looking forward to it. It's been a very good first day, a good first contact, and I'm really eager for tomorrow to come, our first match together.
You're a man with character. Analyzing what may have happened to Madrid during the season that led to the coach no longer being here, and to you arriving, I don't know where you see the problem. Whether it's football-related, player-related, character-related, whether you have identified solutions and how you have it laid out in your head.
No, I think we still have the entire season ahead of us. We're in a very good position in all three competitions. Tomorrow, we're already playing for the first one, but we're well positioned in the league, and obviously also in the Champions League, which we start again next week. That's the only thing that concerns me, having all the players available, working at the highest level with them, getting to know each other, them understanding a bit what I want. But in the end, the important thing is them, that they can express themselves, that they're happy, that I see them enjoying themselves on the pitch. This is a team where you have to enjoy yourself. Wearing this badge is the best thing that can happen to you in life. I think it's an enormous privilege for all of us. And the only thing that concerns me is having the ambition and the excitement to fight for every title, because that's what this badge demands of us, the level of expectation we have and what we want.
I want to see if you're able to tell me what playing well means to you.
Well, Real Madrid has 123 years of history, and it's hard for them to ever be acknowledged as having played well, isn't it? We know the level of demand that exists, and there have been coaches here who won 3 Champions Leagues in a row, and you said it was because they were lucky, or that after training they went home to water the garden. So we know that I know where I am. I know what Real Madrid is. I know the level of external expectation we face. But we're all very clear, at least I'm very clear, about what playing well is, and above all, what the fans want, what they want to see from their team, what they want their team and players to convey, what they've been conveying throughout their entire history. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the trophy cabinet we have. And in the end, there's one thing we all know and are very aware of here, and that is very important: winning.
Congratulations on the appointment and good luck. I'd like to ask you about Xabi Alonso. You've spoken about the friendship and the good relationship you have with him. I'd like to know whether that closeness, that relationship, at any point made you hesitate about taking the Real Madrid job. Whether the personal side at any point made you think, I don't know how this might affect him, or whether the professional side was always put above everything else.
No, nothing was put above anything else. He wished me the best. Just as if it had been the other way around, I would have wished him the same. I think we have a friendship that goes far beyond many things, and the relationship we have, like I said before, we spoke for a good while yesterday, and obviously he wished me the best, and I did the same for him, because he's a great coach, and I'm sure things will go very well for him in the future. And we'll always be together, just as we have been all these years.
And I wanted to ask you about the academy. It's a recurring theme when the team isn't doing well, why the academy isn't used more. You obviously know Castilla better than anyone. I don't know what role you think it can play, what potential you see in it, and whether you see it contributing to the first team.
Well, look, for me, Real Madrid's academy is the best academy in the world, and I think we've been proving that for many years. There are players developed at La Fábrica all over the world. Tomorrow, in fact, we'll be facing some of them, and we're incredibly fortunate. I've been very lucky to work with many players over these past few years. They've brought me here, because that's the reality, and I truly believe Real Madrid's academy is the best in the world. They know they have a huge opportunity, and right now, the first-team coach knows them better than anyone. The level of demand I try to transmit to them day after day is the level of demand of Real Madrid, but of course, they know that I count on them.
A large part of your career at Real Madrid as a player was under Mourinho. I want to ask you, how much of Mourinho are we going to see in Arbeloa? And also whether you've spoken with him, if he's given you any advice on coaching this Real Madrid.
No, I haven't spoken with Jose yet. For me, it was a privilege and an honor to be coached by Jose Mourinho. It always was. I also have a great relationship with him, but no, I haven't spoken with him. Obviously, he was someone who influenced me greatly and who I carry within me. But I'm going to be Álvaro Arbeloa, because it's true that I'm not afraid of failure. I never have been. But I'm sure that if I tried to be Jose Mourinho, I would fail spectacularly.
You've spoken about one of the coaches you've had. You had many very successful coaches in your career as a player. What have you taken from them, or what do you recognize from those coaches that you now apply from the bench?
Well, I've had many, and very good ones, very different from each other. And I won't start naming them because I don't want to leave anyone out. They were obviously very important in my professional career and a great influence on what I am now as a coach. Of course, each person has their own way of being and tries to take the best from each one. But to be honest with you, many of them are legends. They've made history in football. They've won everything. And I think they've even transcended the sport itself. So it's been a privilege and an honor to be coached by all of them. And I hope I do at least half as well as many of them did.
There's been a lot of talk this season about physical preparation, that the team wasn't physically at its best. We've seen Antonio Pintus in training directing that physical preparation. What role will Antonio Pintus have from now on, and will there be any changes in that area?
No, for me, it's a privilege to have Antonio Pintus on the coaching staff. He has 5 European Cups to his name. I think he's an exceptional fitness coach, surely one of the best in the world, and he's going to be responsible for the entire physical side. He knows many of the players very well. He's worked with them. He has his own method, which we all know has worked very well at this club. And for me, it's a huge pleasure to work with him. To learn from him and to be by his side. I think it's a tremendous asset for me and for all the players.
When we've followed your press conferences at Castilla, you've been very outspoken with referees. We all know the club's stance regarding what has happened in Spanish football in recent years. I wanted to ask how you're going to handle that now. And when there's a decision you don't like, how are you going to present yourself here in press conferences?
Well, I haven't even coached a single match yet, and you're already asking me about this. So, honestly, right now, I'm very focused on what can happen tomorrow, on preparing the team well, on starting off well with a win. We're playing for a competition, and at this moment, the truth is that I'm not worried about anything else at all. Only my team, my players, and the opponent we have tomorrow, who I see you're not too worried about. But as a coach, I certainly am, and I'm really looking forward to being on the pitch tomorrow.
When Xabi Alonso first appeared in the press room, he said he wanted a rock and roll Madrid. I'm not going to ask you about the reasons why he wasn't able to build the Madrid he envisioned. I don't know if you have any label or description for the Madrid you want to be seen.
No, none. I've already told you, this club is about winning, winning, and winning again. That level of demand and showing the DNA that has brought us here, that has led us to have that trophy cabinet, those display cases filled with trophies. That's our guide. When I was a player, I received all those values from the people who were in the dressing room. Values that I believe are still very much present at Real Madrid, in our club, in our dressing room. For me, that's the most important thing, that we live up to the demands of this club, that we're able to inspire all the fans we have around the world, and to help make those display cases more and more full. That's my job, that's my obsession, and that's how I'm going to live every single day.
I want to ask you about a situation that happened this season in the League Clásico, when Xavi decided to substitute Vinicius. I imagine you know what I'm referring to. The club decided not to take any action against him or apply any punishment, and Xabi Alonso settled for, as he told us here in the press conference, a public apology via a tweet and a general apology in the dressing room. I'd like to know, in a situation like that, when one of the team's most important players does what he did in such an important match as a Clásico, how a coach like Arbeloa would react.
I don't put myself in scenarios that haven't happened. What concerns me is tomorrow's match, and I'm incredibly fortunate to have Vinicius Jr., who I think is one of the most decisive footballers in the world, a player loved by all the fans. Everyone saw the match he played last Sunday, and that's the Vinny we want to see. A Vinny who smiles, who enjoys himself, who dances, who plays, who's capable of deciding a Clásico and making the difference. That's the only thing that concerns me and that I want to see right now from Vinny.
Speaking now about tomorrow's match, what differences or what kind of Madrid can we see tomorrow, and what did you find in the players this morning? I imagine that dealing with the departure of one coach and the arrival of another in the space of one afternoon and one morning isn't easy. What do you expect from the team tomorrow, and what did you find this morning?
I found a group of players who are very eager, especially because we have an entire season ahead of us with 3 very important titles. Despite the effort they've had to put in during this last week of very demanding matches, I've seen a great willingness from all of them to be on the pitch tomorrow. And well, with the same excitement that I have, they have it too. Eager for things to go well, to win, to fight for everything, and to enjoy themselves, because that's what this is all about.
You've spoken about your close relationship with Xabi Alonso. I imagine that over this time you've talked about everything. I wanted to ask, when it comes to making certain decisions, whether that will be very complicated, knowing that all the references you have about the dressing room come from him, whether you're able to put that aside, or whether it's very difficult because of everything Xabi may have told you and the trust you share with him.
No, not at all. Obviously, all the players start from zero with me. It's a new beginning, just as it is for them with me. I'm not going to ask Castilla players whether I treated them badly or not, and that's that. This is a new beginning for everyone, a continuation of the objectives we have this season, which I've already repeated, and above all this first match we have tomorrow against Albacete. We're fully aware that we have to win, of the difficulty, of what it means to play a knockout match, a single game. And well, I think all the players are very eager. I've seen that despite all the work they've done, they've shown me that excitement to have a great season and for everything to go well.